Yo, what's up? Welcome to the 36th episode of the Peon podcast. It's been a minute. Today on the podcast, we have Lawrence Smith, aka LT, who is the chef out at Chilte in Pheonix, Arizona. Just getting a lot of great press. But before we get to that, like I said, it's been a minute since I did a podcast, since I've done an interview or any of that stuff. And I can explain a little bit, but what it comes down to is I just haven't really, for a while there, I didn't have any time because the restaurant, when I was about a month ago, I think it was about a month ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, I had to hire somebody new and to fill somebody's position there. Pretty big position at this restaurant. And man, that's the first time I've ever done any sort of hiring for a job before. And damn, man, I got all the sympathy in the world for people who have to go through resumes and hire people. Man, it is it's like doing work for this podcast, to be honest. It's like you have to filter through 100, maybe 1,000 like resumes, and then you got to find the ones that work for you, and then you have to schedule all these interviews, and then like half the interviews don't show up or don't contact you back, and then half the interviews that do contact you back don't show up, and then the ones that do are like weird or odd in some way, or like don't even know what restaurant they're at. Like one guy was like, yeah, I'm looking to do Tex-Mex, and I'm like, yeah, this is not a Tex-Mex restaurant, man. Didn't you look it up before you came in? It's kind of strange that people don't look up the place they're applying to. I don't know. Maybe the job market out there is weird and people just need whatever they can get. But for me, it's like, wouldn't you look at the place that you're applying to? Even just apply to the place and then look it up when you get the interview? I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm just weird in that way. But I did that for about 2 weeks, maybe 2.5. And man, is that draining? It's like I spent like all of my mornings doing that, and then on top of that, working a job, which is like, all the stuff that a line cook and a chef has to do all within the work day, because I was like a chef, line cook, dishwasher, doing all the sous chef stuff, doing admin stuff, and then also doing menu development on top of like hiring and stuff like that. It was a lot. There's a lot to do, especially with being down one person. So that's why I didn't have time to do it for like 2 weeks after I did my last interview. I didn't even have time to like look people up, or like contact anybody. And then about 3 weeks ago, I was let go from my job. So you might say, oh, cool, now you have time to do this. And that's the first thing I thought. I was like, okay, now I get to do this full time. And immediately sent out like a bunch of messages and emails and stuff. And it just, man, nobody's answering messages right now. I don't know. Maybe it's too saturated out there. I don't know. But so for now, it's going to have to be what it is, like when I get an interview, man, I'll post it, and that's just what it is, trying to do a lot more of them because I really enjoy talking to people, especially about kitchen shit and restaurants, as you'll hear in this interview. I got the, first of all, about the letting go thing. I'm sure at some point, maybe I'll tell that story. Right now it's an ongoing debacle that I shouldn't really talk about. But suffice it to say, it's pretty messy, and I learned a lot of lessons. I learned 100% what not to do. People I think are hesitant to, or shy away from places that might be bad. It's not that it was bad. It's like you might shy away from a bad experience, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, dude, I learned exactly what I shouldn't do, as a owner, as a chef, as a restaurant owner, because of the actions of these people. But I don't know. Hopefully I can tell that story soon if it all gets resolved. But until that time, I'll just keep my mouth shut, at least on this podcast. I had the pleasure of over the last couple weeks getting to go to a couple of great dining experiences I wanted to talk about. I got to finally go to Emmer and Rye with my old sous chef, Alexa Mejia, at the helm. She is fantastic. I think I said in her opening and like when she announced she was leaving Barley Swine, I was like, she is definitely one person to like keep your eye on because she's incredible. She's a great chef, great person, and like her food is incredible as well. So I was like finally got the chance through a Barley Swine Emmer Rye collaboration. Got to go there and try her food and all the collaborative dishes they were doing with Barley Swine, and knocked my socks off. You know, it was really, really good, standout meal. And her bread is hands down the best bread I've ever had in my life. And that's saying something. I mean, I grew up in Germany, so you know, I have high expectations of bread, especially like sourdough and stuff. And it was incredible. I think about it all the time. I think about like, man, I need to just go back there and just have the bread. And maybe I will soon. But congrats to her and all the success that they're having. I mean, they're struggling like anybody else in the summer of Texas, but I feel like once the heat wave, once the summer's through with Austin, that place is gonna go gangbusters, you know. And then I had the privilege again to help Andy Dubrava and Tiff Ortiz and Erica Chan and Matt Hanley at the Maiden Kitchen. They did a little dinner again at the Maiden Kitchen. It was the final stop of their like sort of, you know, we're waiting for our restaurant to be opened tour kind of. And it was fantastic, man. I was just happy to be out of the house, to be honest. You know, it had been 3 weeks since I'd been in a kitchen, and like, you know, the break is nice, but when you're stuck inside and your knives are all packed away, you've sharpened them, and you're just like, all right, I guess don't have anywhere to be. I didn't realize how much I was going to enjoy being back in a kitchen. And yeah, I was happy to just cut chives for an hour and a half, 2 hours. I don't care. Just give me something to do. Get me out of the house. And yeah, they're special people in this industry, and anything I can do to help them is fucking fantastic. And I got to meet Erica, who I've done a podcast with. If you haven't listened to that episode, go back and check it out. She's a mad genius. They all are. I mean, they're all like quiet, humble geniuses. They won't tell you that, but they are. And it was a great experience. Like I said, I was just happy to be out of the house, but it was better than that. I got to eat the food and the sort of the preview of what they're going to be doing at Catbird Seat. And man, people in Nashville are in for a treat, man. Some highlights, I guess I could say, is like there was a shrimp dish with this like melon that Andy had compressed in like shio koji and some other stuff. Just fantastic, like sweet, and had that like unique shio koji flavor to it. Erica did a pepper medley sorbet. Dude, if all sorbets and ice creams were like that, man, I'd be eating ice cream every fucking day. Jesus Christ, man, the texture on it and the flavor, it was like spicy, sweet, and it had the habanada flavor to it. Man, and it was just so creamy and like, man, I don't know. I don't know what to say. That shit was mind blowing. I was like, I wish I could eat a fucking tub. I have to keep a tub of this in my fucking freezer. It was outstanding. I mean, the whole meal was fantastic. As always, I know I keep saying that, but it felt a lot more intimate too, because it was a lot more industry people. You know, it's also the slow season for Austin, so it's like they didn't really sell it out. So it's like mainly just like friends and like people that they know in the industry in town, and yeah, so it felt a lot more intimate. Another standout. What else is another standout? Oh man, the little snacks in the middle. God damn, so good. Like beef tartare with beets and and a little shio leaf. Man, I've been eating so many Psalms and lettuce wraps lately. That was like, that hit the spot. I'm like, all right, I'm going to be doing that at home now. My favorite type of Psalm too is just getting the big oba leaf, doing a lettuce wrap in that instead of just straight up, butter leaf or some shit like that. And then, man, there's so many. I'm going through the pictures right now. I'm like, dude, they're all bangers. They're all just bangers, man. Yeah, especially the dessert was like a corn and corn custard with like country ham. It's like, it was fucking nuts, man. I've never, like, I just couldn't stop eating that dessert. I'm like so full at this point, and I just was like, I just can't stop eating. It's like so salty and savory and like the best dessert way. And then the final like corn trifecta was mind blowing too. I mean, the texture on the mochi was incredible. The ice cream cone with the lime, there was like a lime cone and like a corn ice cream, fucking incredible. Corn silk tea. Man, the jus on the steak is like something I'll try to replicate for the rest of time, and I'll never get even close to it. I mean, at the end of the day, it was just really nice to see them again. Really nice to see, to work with them again and help in whatever way I could, Yeah, I can't wait to get up to Nashville once they have the restaurant open, man. That place is going to be killer, man. It's going to be killer. I said it before, I'll say it again, like not just because of the food. It's going to be killer because they're just like great hosts. They know how to take care of people, and they know how to make it feel like you're in their house and they're taking care of you. Like, yeah, it's fantastic. I can't say enough good shit about them. So if you're in the Nashville area or you're planning to go Nashville soon, just hit up Catbird Seed. Hopefully it's opening soon. I don't have a date. Sorry, I don't have any confidential information or any sort of sneak peek for you. Let's see, what else? All right. Today on the show, we got Lawrence Smith. I didn't know much about LT. I just I saw a picture of him with Chef Diego at Extra Nothing and Poltergeist down in LA, and I was like, oh, cool, who's this guy? And I just looked into him, and we connected super quick, and we had a little interview, man. He's one of those people that like I saw growing up, and then also early in my cooking career, that I'm like, man, if I had an ounce of the confidence that this guy has, I think I would have gone much further in my career than I have now. I'm proud of where I'm at, but I'm just saying, like, LT's got a level of like confidence that I think it's not arrogance. It's just like he knows what he's doing and where he's trying to go. And if I had an ounce of that, I think I would have skipped a lot of painful steps in my life and my career. So if you're a young cook and you're at all anxious or you're unsure of things, I would say listen up to what LT's saying and sort of his perspective on things. And try to have that same level of confidence. I don't think he's confident to the point where he thinks he knows everything. It's that he's certain that he'll get to the place where he needs to be. That's something I have found very, very far into my career, way too far into my career, where I was like, dude, I don't have to be great at something. You just have to know that you will be, because you have the ability to get there. That's all you need. That's it. And LT's got it. All right. I hope you enjoy this interview. I'm going to go do something else. I don't know. I've been doing a lot of ferments, man. I took all the fermentation stuff that we had been doing at the restaurant, and I brought it all here, man. I'm making vinegars. I'm making kojis. I'm occupying my mind here. I'm making fermented hot sauces. I'm doing whatever the fuck I can. Just keep the mind active, All right. So, do all this stuff, the Patreons and the stuff. I mean, I'm not very active on Patreon right now because I don't have the content for it. I'm sorry about that, but it is what it is. And rate the podcast. That's cool. Hit up your friends. If you remember some weird person that you worked with that you're like, man, that person's got a crazy story, send them my way. I need interesting people. I need interesting stories. And I'm always in the DMs. I'm open. So enjoy this podcast. Check out LT's restaurant in Pheonix if you're there. Also follow him on Instagram at Chef LT Smith, and then also check out his restaurant Chilte, CHILTE _PHX. They're popping off right now. They're getting a ton of praise. So yeah, check that place out, and then also check him out on like he's got some like cooking shows and stuff coming out too, man. He's on Triple G, one of my favorite shows. So look forward to that. It's coming out soon. All right. You guys enjoy this podcast. Hopefully I'll see you sooner rather than later. That's becoming my tagline. All right. Bye. This has to be the best location that I've had anybody talk to me in, because everybody does it from their house, but you're like, it looks like you're in like a dry storage or like a walk-in or something like that.
This is like my little chef corner. Like on my little.
Okay.
It's literally in the middle of our dry storage.
Oh yeah, I love kitchen offices. They're always in like the weirdest spots. They're always rammed in, full of shit, and like the boards hanging on the wall and stuff like that. Yeah, you're doing paperwork next to the Mayo and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks for doing this, man. You go by Lawrence, or you go by something else?
I go by like LT.
LT? Okay.
LT, yeah.
Yeah, man. First of all, thanks for doing this, and then congrats on all the praise and stuff you've been getting, man.
Yeah, thank you. It's been fun. It's been a grind, so it's good when it pays off. It's nice when it pays off, you know. That's really cool. Yeah,
for sure, man. Is this your first restaurant that you've owned?
Yep.
And operated?
First one that I owned operated for sure. I mean, obviously, like, being a chef, doing it for other people and everything, but like now it's way different. Way different.
Doing
it on my own. So.
Do you mean like it feels like more rewarding, or you mean like more stressful, or what's the difference?
Definitely both. Like all around both. That's crazy.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. Well, did you grow up in Pheonix?
No, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was playing football, and I like just kind of bounced around the country playing football.
Oh, no way. Okay. How did you end up in kitchens then?
Yeah. So like when it was time to hang up the cleats, pretty much, I jumped in. I did some office work for like 3 months, and I was like, that's not for me at all. And I applied for the Great Food Truck Race. Just because I like grew up watching food stuff. I was like, all right, let's apply for this. Me and my friend, we just love to cook and stuff. So we made it to the finals of casting. And then we were like, all right, if we make it to through casting, we go do it. If we don't make it on casting, then I'm going to go to culinary school. I was like, fuck, I'm going to go to culinary school. So
yeah,
we didn't make it.
So
I went to culinary school.
College? Was this college football?
Right after college. Like a few years after college. Yeah. Like I played college ball. I got picked up by the Colts in 2015.
Oh, and then, no way. Okay.
Yeah. And then when I got released, I just traveled around. I was training, finding different trainers and just trying to get picked back up. Eventually moved out to Pheonix with some friends to kind of like get my feet set, keep training. And then it was just kind of time to move on to the next chapter. And then that's when I kind of jumped into the food thing with the casting. And then we didn't make it through casting. So then I jumped into culinary school out here in Pheonix. I went to culinary school, like a little program real quick. And it just stuck. It was just like a natural fit. Are you picking up my music in the back?
Yeah, but it's cool. It's part of the vibe.
All right.
Yeah, it's fine. Wait, so did you have any cooking background, or you just enjoyed watching the shows, so you just went for the Great Food Truck Race?
Yeah. Like my background in cooking was just like home cook. We cooked in college. Like we cooked for friends and a lot of like more sports nutrition. That's really why I started cooking, was sports nutrition for myself. I grew up family dinners every night. We all sat down and ate. My parents cooked at home all the time. Yeah. So like I was always around it. Cookouts. We had the cookouts all the time, which was like a big thing, gathering around food. So I was like always around food. I never really realized how ingrained food is part of our culture and how much of a meeting place it is, and how much I just loved it. I never really thought about it because I was such a jock. I was such a sports kid. I played all the sports forever.
Yeah.
For the first 22 years of my life, like that's what I was doing, was playing sports. So then for it to kind of like find this second passion, find this second career has been such a blessing. Like, you know, it's crazy.
I had the same experience. Like I went through college, I watched food shows and stuff like you, and then like got to like out of college, didn't know what I wanted to do. I worked at like a hotel. It was the worst job I've ever had. And then I was like, wait, why don't I cook? I really like cooking. I enjoy food. Why don't I just do this? Yeah. It's like, I kind of had the same thought, and then it stuck. 15 years later, here I am.
Yeah. So you're, what are you doing? Where are you at actually? Where are you located?
I'm in Austin.
You're in Austin?
I'm in Austin, Texas. Yeah.
You're a chef out there? You on a spot, or you're chefing, or what?
Well, I was until about 2 weeks ago, and then some messy shit happened. I got let go, and they're trying to restructure the whole business and stuff. So so I got let go. Now I'm trying to start up a food pop up out here.
A little pop up?
Yeah.
Doing what? That's what's up.
Fried chicken.
That's fucking
trying to do a fried chicken pop up. Yeah,
I love that, dude. We were just out here doing.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Like my parents just came to visit. We were frying up chicken and salsa mash and everything. Man, a fried chicken pop up, that sounds dope. Fuck yes.
Right? Yeah. There's nobody doing that out here, so I'm excited to get it started, man. Yeah, I feel like I'm done working for other people. I don't know how you feel, but like, it's just incompetence, and it's like I'm done doing that shit for other people. You know?
That's it. That's that type of shit. Like when I was working for other people, I was like, all right, this is my training grounds, right? I gotta pay my dues. I'm gonna go learn as much as I can. I'll sleep in the parking lot. I'll work the 48-hour shift. Like I don't give a fuck, right? Like I was about it, but and then they do shit like this to us, and you know, the disrespect. You're unappreciated. It's rude. They let you go.
Underpaid.
Like, you know?
Yeah.
And like then that drives people like us to be like, yo, fuck that. Let's go do it for ourselves. And let's build a new community, build a new culture, and build a new lane in this. Like that's why I say like we're leaders in this. Like breaking out and saying like, hey, we're not going to treat our team like that. We're not going to treat our boys like that. We're not going to treat each other like that. Let's push each other to grow. Let's help each other. Let's mentor each other. Let's coach each other. Let's, you know, like we're all trying to strive for that shit. Even
for sure, man.
I mean, that's just like that's the culture that in the industry, and like we gotta change that. So I'm stoked to hear like, sorry you lost your job, but I'm stoked that you're pivoting on that shit and making it. Hey, let's start that next thing, because once you get that shit off the ground, then your first employee is like, bro, you get to drive that shit. So I'm fucking stoked to hear that. Absolutely.
Yeah, man. For sure. When I told my parents, they were so shocked. They're like, why are you so happy about this? I'm like, because I get to do my own thing. I don't care. You know, they did me a favor.
Sometimes you just need that little push.
Exactly. Yeah. I probably wouldn't have done it otherwise. I had like plans, but I was kind of like waiting. You know, you're looking for the perfect time, and then
never
like,
a perfect time.
This happens. Exactly. Yeah, you just got to do it. So it's a blessing for sure, man.
That's sick, man. Congrats.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
That's similar to how we started. Like it was at the beginning of the pandemic, you know, and I was the first manager to get let go, and I was like, all right, cool. And I took my little break and kind of fucked around for a little bit, and then I was like, you know what, I need to do some shit. I always wanted to be my own boss. I was like, I'm not going to work back for somebody else. I can't. Man. So we started our pop up. That's how we started in the streets.
Oh, no way. Okay, what's the pop up culture like in Phoenix? Is it pretty good?
And we started in the
pandemic,
only been
there once.
Yeah, and we started in the pandemic, which was honestly such a blessing. We were able to grow through the pandemic. Like a lot of people were sinking, but you saw all these chefs and all these people who were able to pivot and adapt and have perseverance and grit, really find a way to survive and thrive through that. So we got to be a part of that, which was sick. Which we were like part of that new wave of like street food out here in Phoenix. All the chefs jumped into the streets, and we were at farmers markets, we were at bars, we were doing all that outdoor cooking and everything. So it was really fun.
Oh, nice.
And then when the restaurants opened back up, you know, like the pop-up culture kind of like everyone went back to restaurants. So we kind of followed back into the restaurants, into the brick and mortars, which is dope. Like I love having a home base. It's so fun, and we still get to go do pop-ups. So the culture is just growing. It's growing. Like I'm seeing a lot more vendors just popping up on corners. I'm seeing a lot more collaboration with the community, which is fucking beautiful.
That's
like
awesome.
That's one of the things we really started doing. Like when we were on the street, we were like, hey, what's our neighbor doing over there? they could be doing the same food. Like, let's do something together, right? In the at the farmers markets. Let me go grab some produce from homie over there. Hey, you making tamales? We're doing. Let's do a collab dish. Let me get your tortillas. Like, and that's what we were doing on the streets. And now you're seeing that all over the country. Like, it's so fun, and it's definitely growing out here in Phoenix. Like, there's a bunch of opportunity. It's on the come up.
Oh, that's amazing, man. That's great to hear. So let's go back to when you first started. What did you, when you got out of culinary school, were there kitchens you wanted to get in, or did you just take like the first place you could find?
Yeah, I didn't really have a direction. It was all so new to me. I mean, even right now, I'm only 6 years in to cooking, into the culinary industry at all. 3 years for other people and kind of 3 years on my own, right? But yeah, I came out of culinary. The second I'm a hard fucking worker, right? And you know how it is. Like, we're hard workers. The second I got done with basics, like that bookwork shit, the second got done with basics, I jumped in the kitchen. So I was working at a spot out here called Elements, which is like fine dining, French Asian fusion at a resort. So I got to like learn my basics. It was under Chef Bo Macmillan. So I got to like learn a lot through that kitchen, which was really cool and really get my roots into the industry. And then they sent me over to work for Chef Alex Strada out here. So like I got to learn so much shit from him. Flavors of the Southwest, like Mediterranean cuisine, like just technique, prep. He was in there every day prepping. Like he taught me so much stuff. Like it was dope, even into like learning how to be a lead online. So it was just like really cool. And I just jumped in. I had like 5 jobs and going to school. Like I was just all over. I was doing as much as I physically could do. I was dangerously, like driving home, falling asleep. Like, you know how we grind. So it was crazy, but I had to go get it. I had to be a sponge and still am. But
yeah, for sure, man. Did you get your ass kicked at that first job?
I mean, like I have a natural knack for it. Like the kitchen, like it's so, the parallels between that and football, I mean, they run parallel, like it. So I fell right at home.
Oh, really? Okay.
So like the stress, the pressure, the talking to your teammates, the listening to a coach or listening to your quarterback, listening to expo, listening to your chef, like all that shit's hand in hand. So it was really such an easy fit for me. And you see a lot of athletes are kind of transition. They understand the flow of food in the restaurant, the workflow. So it was an easy transition. So like, yeah, we got our ass handed to us. We still get weeded up. Absolutely. But it was just like, it was a natural understanding from it. I've been training for it for 22 years. I didn't know it. Right. So it was pretty cool.
Oh, that's interesting. Cool. So, I didn't think about that commonality between the two. It's like, it's all communication and
communication.
Like, chef is a coach pretty much.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. Everyone's got their position, right? A ticket gets called. That's your plate getting called by your coach, right? Maybe through expo or by your chef. And then it's all got to come together. Everyone's got to play their part. Everyone's got to do their position and bring it. Yeah. And every day is fucking game day. Every plate's got to be a touchdown, right? They all got to hit. So it's even a little bit more pressure.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you find it hard, like transitioning out of culinary school, or I guess what I mean is, like, you know how like most culinary schools, they have like a very strict curriculum. They only teach you kind of the same techniques, like French techniques and stuff like that. Did you find that transition kind of restricting? I've heard a lot of people talk about
what I think is really cool. And like, I got, a lot of my staff never went to culinary school, and I think you don't need to go to culinary school if you have the grit and the determination. You're a fast learner, and you go and bust ass and find someone who can coach you and mentor you. That's where you got to get lucky, right? Finding someone who really helps you grow. That's hardest
way
thing
harder.
To find. If you find that, you don't need culinary school. People are like, do I need to go to culinary school? I'm like, no, come fucking work for me. Like, I'll show you what you need to know. Like, or go let me send you over here to my friend who's a chef who can show you, like, let's grow you through the kitchens. That's the best way to learn. But transitioning from culinary school to like the real world, it wasn't hard. It gave me the basics that I needed to really apply those shits and surpass people who have been doing this a lot longer than me. I was able to surpass them just because I had the technical basics. That's if someone said, "Do I need to go to culinary school?" I said, if you want to, you got the money, you got the time, go do it, and you'll learn that foundation, and then you got to apply that. You know, like I didn't come out big headed. Oh, I'm a fucking chef now. Like, no, you got to earn that. So really, just jumping in and being able to apply those nice skills, understanding the flow of a kitchen. Having a little bit of business acumen, which is the hardest thing for a lot of us chefs to learn, especially when you go into ownership.
For real.
Really like
you learn the business stuff there as well.
You know, like I didn't do like college. I did like a 7-month course out here in Pheonix, which is a really good course. Like if anybody out here wants to go, I'd be like, yeah, like go over here. But it was like, you know, like a short little class. There's like 4 or 5 classes that you go through. So out of the 5, one of them was menu building, costing, inventory. Dude, you know,
that shit is the hardest to learn. I'm just learning it now, and I'm 15 years in. You know what I mean? Like most restaurant owners don't even use it. I'm like, how are you profitable if you're not like?
Probably not.
You don't know what your profit margins are. They're not. Yeah, exactly.
Or they could be more profitable or something. I don't know, but
exactly. That
was the hardest thing for me to learn because food is not easy to us, but food comes to us. That's what we're good at, right? We're experts at food.
The numbers are
balancing and cutting.
It's hard.
Like I'm telling my people all the time, I'm like, I can't even fucking read. Like, So I have to so that's the biggest learning curve that I've had going into ownership is that.
I mean, from all that, those
labor to weight to inventory to taxes and when are you filing your quarterly shits and all that stuff. It's wild.
Oh my God.
You make a lot of mistakes, but you know, you just learn from them. Just like on a plate, you know, make it better on the next one.
Yeah, for sure. So you said you got moved from the first place you were in, and they threw you into another place. Was that like a restaurant group, or did you?
Yeah, no,
it was go to that place by choice.
No, it was. I was trying to move up, right? So I applied for pastry. I really love pastries. Applied for the pastry department. They didn't have a spot for me there. They put me in cold in the pantry in the cold section, which is dope because they had a really good cold section. Like we were doing a lot of different type of cold plates, like a little bit of broiler work on the salamander and shit. So I got to learn a lot, but I was trying to get up the line. They knew I was trying to get up there. I told them, I was like, I got to get up online. Let me get on that hotline. I started getting in and teach. They were teaching me stuff, but they just didn't have a spot for me really on the schedule. You know, the staff was full. So they're like, hey, go over and work for our friend at Match. Go work for Chef Strada. We'll get you in there. So they just sent me over there.
Okay.
You know, just in the network, just in the chef network, you know. So
yeah.
Over there, which was super dope.
You end up working the hotline there?
Yeah, for over there. So I got in there, I got to learn a lot about prep. That was really the first kitchen I was very prep heavy. Which is that's a fucking base right there. Like you got to know all the shit that goes into your plates, right? And how to build it and the focused multitasking. You got 5 projects going and working.
Oh, for real? Yeah.
I'm bro, I learned that shit, man. Shoulder to shoulder with chef. Such a great learning experience with all the chefs in there. Super dope. But then, I would do that. And then I'd transition, you know, the second half of the day, I'd be online. And then eventually I ended up just becoming the morning cook. So now I got to learn that. And, you know, eggs are that's a wild one too. I'm green, right?
Chef?
Yeah. I'm green as fuck. So I'm doing breakfast and then firing up a pizza thing at lunch, a wood fire pizza oven at lunch. So I got to
all over the place.
I was training to be a chef because this is what it's chef owner like. Prep cook calls out, you prepping. Dishwasher calls out, you're cooking. You're doing desserts, you're doing this, you're doing that. So just being able to roll through. So I'd go in, I'd go prep, open up line for breakfast service, and it was a pretty mellow spot. So I just run breakfast service by myself most of the time, and then just all of a sudden you're transitioning to lunch. There was no no downtime, no closing, but
that's wild.
That shit was a blessing, man. I got to learn so much, so fast. That was in fucking 2-3 months.
Oh shit, dude!
Hyper
breakfast must be a night. Yeah, right. It's crash course because all the breakfast tickets and all the people who order food at breakfast. It's nuts, man. It's if you can't have your eggs the right way or your toast the right way, it's people freak out. And then the tickets, of course, tickets are so hard to read for me because it's it's all the mods and stuff like that. Yeah. But you learn how to move
and
super fast, right?
Hopefully you do it on your pop up. You'll be no fucking mods. You're getting
no, fuck that.
Exactly. Is it going to kill you? you're fucking getting it. If it's not
Yeah.
that, you're fucking getting it.
Exactly.
I definitely started like that. And even now, like, we'll get mods and I'm like, no. Like, no. I'll take the onions off. I'll not put the cilantro in. Like, I got you. But, like, I'm not taking a fucking temp. No, it's coming how it's coming. Like,
no.
I made this shit for a reason. And outside of the ego, your whole fucking line, like the flow, like now we're like, shit's getting mixed up. Like, we all got rock stars. We could do it. Obviously, we have done it. But, like, I don't want to.
Yeah.
That's why I got my own shit.
Yeah. Also, I think of it like you're coming into my house, right? This is the food I'm serving, and you're gonna tell me how I'm gonna cook it, or like that it needs to be modified in some way. No, man. Get the shit that's on the menu. If you don't want the shit that's on the menu, go somewhere else. You know,
100, exactly. There's places that accommodate like that, and I mean, we do our best to, but that's just not like we're coming for the vibe. We're coming for like what we're making. Like, there's more to the story than just, you know.
Yeah.
I want my burger with blah, 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 and ketchup and blah, blah. Like, I just don't got it, bro. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't have it. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, if you just say no, they're just like, oh, okay, I'll get it the way it comes. Just say no, and they're fine. They don't really care that much.
My wife's the worst, though. My wife's the worst.
Okay.
It should be like, can you ask that to make me a blah, 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 with the blah, 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 a well-done steak? And like my brain is like, well-done steak. I'm like, but I'm like, I want you to enjoy it, too. So, like, even when people asking for mods, I'm like, I want you to still enjoy the food. And finding that balance, chef-owner balance, versus creative versus like what's approachable and what is craveable, and you want people to enjoy their full experiences. That's a tough one to find as well. So I'm like, I'm always fighting that battle with myself. Like, and I just ended up telling my team, I was like, if we would not do it when you're in the weeds, don't do it. Just tell them no. If we do it when we're in the weeds, then let's accommodate them. If you wouldn't do it when you're shit down fucked in the weeds, then you know we're gonna have to tell them no. And that's it. That's the line. Yeah. And it really needs to
that's a good line.
Right, we can do it, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I feel
that,
like
or if it'll hurt them, you know. Yeah, we don't want to hurt them. If it's gonna hurt them, then obviously we accommodate. So
So how many kitchens did you experience before you opened up your pop-up?
Before I started culinary school, I was like, my very first job was in a hot dog joint. I was like dishwashing and frying hot dogs all at the same time.
All right.
So that was on my first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I went to a restaurant group and I did like a lot of jobs for them. So I'll say probably like maybe 6 kitchens.
Okay.
6 kitchens, and I went from even 7. I guess if you look way back when I was in high school, my very first job was a dishwasher. You know, or like really building that base. So yeah, I mean, I've done all the positions, you know, from dish to freaking host to janitor to contractor to everything, you know, from savory to pastry back to savory.
Did you ever do front of house, like serving and stuff like that?
Yeah. I was at a spot. I was the executive pastry chef, and then they needed help like in the front of house, and I ended up kind of like I was in this like little limbo of an AGM role / backup bartender. Also being an executive pastry chef for the spot and a sous chef across the street for him. So I was just like,
Jesus, man.
Yeah. I was doing whatever.
5 jobs at once.
Yeah. If I was on AGM mode, I would be doing table touches and serving and running food or doing a little expo out there and stuff like that. And now being an owner, I'm doing all that. I wanted to do that because I wanted to learn. I gotta have I'm not an expert. I'm not the best at everything, right? But I need to have a base.
Yeah, of course.
At least when I'm talking to someone to interview or whatever. I just want to learn all the things. I was like, teach me what a declining budget is. Teach me how to do inventory. Teach me how to go seek out the answers, right? Let me show me how to build some fucking cocktails, pour a beer right, make a coffee, steam some milk, like just a base. So at least if I'm talking to somebody, I can do it. You know,
I know what you're doing.
Somebody can't bullshit me into a job as easily, you know. So
dude, that's really good. I feel like a lot of owners don't have half that base. You know what I'm saying? I definitely have a huge blind spot for like front of house shit. So that's why I ask. I'm like, how do you?
That's what you gotta do. If you're starting your pop up, bro, you gotta just go fucking stage somewhere or go get a little side gig. That's just like front house. You know, challenge yourself in a different way, get a different angle.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Just so you know, because now if you're in a pop up, you're gonna be customer facing.
Yeah.
So you gotta have that little.
I got it. Yeah, I got to learn to do that for sure.
Just the base, you know. How's this fucking West work? How's this fucking, you know? How am I talking to these people every time? What's my pitch?
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah, you gotta have that front facing, like
Yeah,
that server kind of mentality.
yeah, yeah. I make my like I'm training people to be chefs right now. I'm like once we get past expo, like you're gonna do 3 host shifts, you're gonna do 2 server shifts, you're gonna bar back, you know,
Dude,
like
that's
you
a
gotta
great
be able
idea.
to, we got to be able to. We're trying to bridge the gap. It's not front of house versus back of house. Not in my spots. You know, like we're bridging the
No.
gap. If I need you to jump in, or if you need to jump in, or if you just need to help a guest, right? We're all trying to deliver guest experience and support each other. Then we can do it. You know, like at least
Yeah.
you know the flow. You know what to grab. You know who to talk to. You know where to send the thing. Like it's just a couple shit. Get you that base.
For
Get
sure.
everyone comfortable with each other.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, you also don't want to like be like, I don't know how to do that. I don't want to do that
Yes.
or whatever, right? Like something happens, you need to be able to like know every aspect of the business. Like my favorite time at any of the jobs that I've been at is like when you reach that point where you know every single bit of the business, every single bit of the kitchen and how the front of house runs and all that kind of stuff. And you can like see it all happening at once. Like you can just look out at the dining room and you know exactly what's happening in every part of the restaurant. That's really cool. Yeah.
You can anticipate it. You can put out the fires, you know. That's something I love about being an owner. I got all the answers, you know, like cool.
Yeah. So how did the your like TV appearances happen? Is that something that happened like relatively recently? I saw you on Chopped.
Yeah, I mean a lot more so recently.
Is that something you have like tried to do or
at first
actively try to do?
At first, like a couple of chefs I was around were on it, and they always ask people who are on, like, "Oh, who would you recommend? You know, anyone on your team?"
Okay.
Would be right. So they would say me. So you kind of got my foot in the door on casting. And then really from there, like I wasn't really super interested, even though I played football my whole life. I'm hella competitive. I just wasn't super interested. I kind of had that like imposter syndrome feeling.
Okay.
Like,
you're like, why me?
Motherfuckers out here know how to cook all this different shit and all this techniques and all this terminology. And like they've been doing it for 20 years. I've been doing it for like 3 or 2 years at the time when I first started getting casted. I was like, well, fuck it. So eventually I got on Chopped, and then like now I'm like I didn't win on Chopped, so now I'm like activated my competitive mode. I'm like, get me back on the show. I gotta go compete. I gotta go win. So now I'm just like, anytime they call, actually I gotta get on a call with one of them now, or after this. But I'm like, I just want to go compete and go have fun. Like I'm seeking it now.
That's cool.
So it's fun.
That's interesting. So what was your Chopped experience like?
Chopped was super fun. It was my first time on TV, so I was definitely hella nervous, and it was just like I come across really like just like stoic on there. We were goofing in the back; they cut it out, but I was nervous. I was a little
you get
like,
chopped,
kind of tense, but yeah, it was really fun.
What stage did you get chopped at?
I made it to the finals.
Yeah, no way!
Final round, yeah. For sure.
Okay. Any wild shit in there? Does it give you like bubble gum for like a steak dish or some shit?
No. So my episode for Chopped was like chocolate. So every single basket had a chocolate component into it.
That's not so bad.
But we're cooking like all savory dishes until the last round. So it was just like I don't know if it was the second round or last round. They had like a chocolate like a edible chocolate for like sex. Like a like foreplay chocolate, yeah. I guess like foreplay.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay,
so that was quirky and weird, but it just tastes like sweet ass chocolate.
There was nothing else really weird in there.
No, man. I was all right. This is what's cool though. Is like I was so hoping for fucking like a lobster or shrimp or something in chocolate because like you're like that's a tough pairing. But I have chocolate aguachile on my menu, which I made in their test kitchen, and I was like, yo, that's just a banger. So I'm just gonna put it on my menu.
Oh, nice.
That was cool.
All
but
right.
no, everything was pretty like the first basket had duck, the second basket had like a chuck roast or something like that, like a big beef cut. And then the third basket was dessert. So it had like I don't even know what they had in it, but they had the foreplay chocolate in that basket.
Okay.
So they were pretty good baskets, honestly, for pairing with chocolate, you know? It was like beef and like white and like pretty much a white chocolate, a ruby chocolate, but you know, like that's just it's automatic. Like beef, carrots, chocolate, like you're good. So duck, sweet, orange chocolate, like chili, you're good. So
yeah, okay. Well, that's lucky. Like I've seen some wild shit they put on there, but I
wanted a little bit more of a wild one, but they got me since I didn't win. They did their job.
So I've always wondered about those shows. Like, how much of that are you standing around and like waiting? Is it actually like they give you the timer and then that's it, or are they like
Yeah,
they like
it's
letting you like
when it's game time,
readjust or anything like that?
yeah, you don't.
So they say 40 minutes. It's 40 minutes and that's it. There's no like
Yep.
stop. We got to reset or any of that shit.
Like I cut myself, didn't stop the clock.
Oh shit.
They like, yeah, we didn't barely even do any retakes, on any of the speaking parts. Like they would just we cranked that one. That one was during COVID, so it was a little bit of a longer day. I mean, usually you're on set. Like I was on set for like maybe 16 hours for that one.
Okay.
But they had all the COVID precautions going. Like we're all isolated and like all those steps kind of add some hours onto your day.
Yeah.
Recently, I was on a show. It hasn't come out yet, so I can't say what, but it was being outside of COVID. It was so much more fun. Like we were all able to connect. We were all able to hang out. It was so long as day. It was still like 14 hours.
Yeah.
But it was a lot more like laid back and chill and fun. We all got to be at the same hotel, and the competitors, we got to go out to have dinner after and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it was really cool. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of hurry up and wait behind the scenes, makeup and then wait. And then, all right, let's go get this. And then, now everyone's got to eat lunch and then we come back. And then there's all that type of stuff for sure, which for me is not too much different than I can always relate back to like football, like get to the hotel and then, all right, meeting and then go sit around or go to the hot tub and lunch and then go blah, blah, blah. And then you go to let's go to the stadium and walk around and go feel the field. A lot of hurry up and wait. Oh, game time. And then you just got to go.
Yeah. So are the dishes actually warm by the time they eat it? I just like always like looking at them like, there's no way that shit is still hot.
I don't even know yet because we don't get the time. So I don't know. I don't know if the judges are getting. I do know like some behind the scenes of them are like they have hot boxes for stuff or they keep them under heat lamps.
Okay.
Usually the transition time's not too long from plating to judging. On some of these like shorter like one episode type things. On the longer ones, some of my friends have said that there was some pretty significant downtime where things are just kind of like hanging in a hot box or under a lamp.
Damn.
Which I'm like, dang, that's tough. But I mean, honestly, as a judge or even as a chef, when you go out to eat at restaurants, like you have your expectations set and an understanding of what's going on, so you can rate it appropriately. You're like, if I'm going to a fine dining spot, I got a different expectation versus if I'm going to like a fast casual. So they know. They're professionals.
Yeah. Who are your judges? Yeah, for sure. I bet.
Honestly, for Chopped, I can't even remember.
Okay.
I can't remember. That was like 3 years ago.
Oh,
I have to watch it back.
Okay.
But yeah.
And I saw you were also on Triple G, man. Are you allowed to talk about that?
Yeah, that's the one. I was like, it hasn't released. They told me it was coming out, and they told me to start like promoting it, and then I hit them up the day before. I was like, "Hey, is this coming out? Like, what episode or what time?" And they're like, "Oh, it got pushed." So
shit!
I don't even know when it's coming out. But yeah, so I'll be on that. It'll be cool.
Damn, are you allowed to talk about it?
I can't really give any spoiler alerts because it's not.
Okay, well, can you at least tell me like what it was like working with Guy Fieri? I'm obsessed with that guy.
They were
like, really nice dude.
Man. That whole crew and every crew I've worked with, but what I really loved about being on set there was everyone was very chill, very like just nice and welcoming, and it was super super fun. Like it was a really like chill competition show. Like you're still there to fucking work and get it, but everyone was cool. It was so fun to meet everyone. Mad respect all around. It was a blast.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Was Guy actually there? Like, is he like there the whole time?
Yeah, 100%.
All right.
Yeah, he's there. His son's there. Like, the judges are cruising around. Like, they were shooting a couple different episodes the same day, so there's like 2 or 3 episodes being shot. So there's other chefs like hanging out. We're all just kind of like kicking it until it's go time. You're waiting, and then it's go time. And then
that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's chill. It's chill. It's a long day.
That sounds really cool.
That's fun, man. It's all worth it.
Yeah, but you're probably used to that, so it doesn't really matter.
Getting there. Starting to get more used to it. For long days, yeah.
Yeah,
we're all
for
used
sure.
to that. It's just a different type of long day, You go from like, I'm banging online to I'm doing admin for fucking 12 hours or I'm on set. Like,
yeah. So are you planning on doing a lot more of that stuff?
I hope so. You know, if they'll keep bringing me on, like I'm trying to get better and better at it. Trying to make sure, like, you gotta have like have my personality come through, because like I gotta get comfortable with people a lot before I'm like goofy and like quirky and all that stuff. But so you have to like be able to like get into that character and like really like deliver yourself. And plus I'm like hella competitive, so I want to go win, go get on and win stuff. So yeah, I'm definitely down to do a lot more of it. I want to, so it'll be fun. Okay, I'll do it. All
right. All right. I'll look forward to seeing it, man.
Yeah. Hopefully.
So how's the restaurant life going now? Like, you said you started during the pandemic. Did you have like any? I mean, I feel like that's a blessing and a curse at the same time. Like, did you have any struggles like opening that place during the pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was really just. I'm blessed to say it was all really blessings. You know, I mean, not that it wasn't hard. There was definitely so many struggles. I think it's just probably the hardest part. It wasn't from the pandemic that the struggles were. It's just from being a brand new business, starting out of the mud, starting out of my apartment with just me and my wife. That's the struggle, you know, like, our first few pop-ups, like no sales, one sale, out there in the fucking rain. And then this Pheonix is hot as fuck. Like, it was a struggle. And on top of that, I'm working with my wife who's not from the food industry. And then you have a whole other layer of stress and financial stress and at home stress and all this. So as exciting as it was to be doing your own thing, there was like, it was so stressful until we really got that ball rolling. And then you get new stressors, right? Like, all right, now we at least afford our product, or my bank account isn't in overdraft, and then we grow. And then now I'm back into overdraft, but I got a food truck now, right? So at least we have like a little mobile base, and like I'm not storing everything. Well, I still was storing everything in my fucking house, and like.
Do you remember that? That point where it started to pick up, and when you were like, "Oh, I think I might have something here"? You said you had some slow times at the beginning there.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely took a minute, but once we kind of got into the loop in front of people, it picked up really quick. Like. Because shit, we did that.
Oh, you mean just like getting your name out there, that kind of thing? Like kept showing up.
Getting our food in people's hands and in people's mouths, and kind of creating a brand around it, and learning all that shit. It picked up quick though, because honestly, we did the tent for a year and a half, the truck for a year, and then we're like at a year and a half on our brick and mortar here. So each stage was like a year and a half, which is super fast.
Okay.
Wow. Super fast off growth, man. I mean, pretty quick into the farmer's market. It probably took us like 2 months before we were really like started having some consistency and some regulars, and people, and had that like brand awareness and recognition. And we started getting like little, accolades around town and some write-ups and things like that. So it probably took us like 2 months to get faces and getting people's things. And then probably in 6 months, we were starting to get some recognition around town, which was really, really quick and really cool. And really helps us, like,
that's great, man. Yeah,
propel us, just kind of catapult us into where we are today.
That's awesome, man. What was the build out of the restaurant like? Did you actually like take over a restaurant, or did you build it from scratch?
No, so this was pretty scratch. I came onto the project, so they had already been working on this project for 2 years. This is also like pandemic time. They were working on it for 2 years. They had a big ass delay, and then they kind of pivoted from what they were doing, and they started looking around for local talent. Found me, did a tasting, blah, whatever. Got in here, so I came into like something that was already kind of. They were building it for like a pizza shop, and I just had to like come into this space and like rework it with what was here to make it what it is today.
Okay,
but it was crazy. Like, I mean, I was for real in here. I was doing caulking, I was plumbing, I was learning electrical.
Nice.
I was
hands dirty.
Yeah, I was moving equipment. I like crushed my finger, smashed it flat, like the nail, everything.
Shit, dude.
Like I was like crushing on some equipment. I was like, "Yo, we got to go to the hospital right now." Like, we were doing everything. We're in here, like, main sewer lines are blowing up in the street behind us. Like our toilets are.
God damn, man.
We went through all the shit to get this motherfucker off the ground. Like. Our first couple services, our fucking bathrooms flooding. I'm like, we're kicking people out. And, so like we got that problem. Our guests are getting a bad experience. We got to comp everybody's meals on top of it. My team is scrambling. There's all over the place. And it was it was wild, you know. So we're
Damn, yeah,
here now.
you're
We
good.
survived.
Hopefully, right, dude. It's always like something,
Yep.
some small thing, or yeah, it just all piles up, dude. I love restaurant openings because it's like, for as much as we like, we're anticipating every little thing,
Yeah.
and we're good about it. It's like no matter what, the fucking restaurant opening is such like a problem on problem on
Yep.
problem on problem. It's like it never goes smoothly for
Yeah.
anybody that I've ever talked to about it. It's just
Stuff,
like
yeah. Something's gonna
it's just
sneak.
a struggle.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah.
It is, but it's
So
like
you,
you know, we're addicted to this nonsense. So
yeah, exactly. We're addicted to the struggle and
yeah,
the suffering for sure.
we need that adrenaline rush, and we need that.
Yeah. Did you have investors for this, or did you buy it from the people who like pivoted the concept?
No, so like we partnered up pretty much.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they brought me into the space, so I just brought my brand and my, you know, my chef brain and brand, and I'm pretty much just like bringing the concept to the space.
Okay.
I ended up getting hella involved in helping them complete the whole property because it's in a motel.
Okay.
Just because, you know, we have a shared interest in making this a successful property. So we have like 48 rooms, we have a live venue and a big ass bar outside, and
Oh, no way.
they didn't know much about a restaurant build out or anything like that. So we just kind of brought our powers together, which is really
Okay.
cool. They gave me the opportunity to come into the space. So that's cool.
Yeah, man.
Sweat
Sounds
like
like a sweet gig.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So this is you guys have been open for how long? You said like
About a year and a half in the brick and mortar, yeah. But Chilte as a whole, we've been operating for 3 years, 4 years, 3.5.
Okay. As the brand, you mean?
They're different stages, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did the all the recent press come about, man? Like, is that just something that happened organically? You guys just didn't expect it, or
Yeah, I ain't got no
how did that come up?
for a marketing team, so that's organic.
That's great, man. That's the best marketing you could hope for. You know, best new restaurant on a Bon Appetit
That's
list.
what my
you know,
wife
like,
likes to do. My wife doesn't like to chop onions like I had her doing chopping onions in dishwashing. She doesn't like that shit.
making her wash the dishes.
She likes
That's
marketing,
hilarious.
and that's, you know what, that is
Okay.
what kind of helped us our platform grow so quick, is because she likes marketing. So she
Oh, that's
took
sick.
that
Yeah.
part under her wing, and she was my first front of house person, right? And she was doing
Okay.
that, and I was cooking. So that definitely helped us. But all the recent stuff is just kind of just been, it's definitely organic, and it's just growing as it goes. You know, like we put our heads
Yeah.
down and we come in and we fucking grind every day, and we just stay true to who we are and what story we want to tell and the community we want to build. And like-minded people, they come and they find us. You know, we're finding the right people, and they're finding us. So it's really cool.
Wow, that's cool. So you just come in one day and you find out you're on the best new restaurants list or something like that.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
you're like, damn, that's wild. That's
Mhm.
crazy, man.
Yeah, like you know, like the reviewers and the critics, like they'll come in and sometimes you recognize them, and most often I'm on the line sweating or something or whatever, and someone's like, hey, I think this is somebody. Like, all right, well,
Okay.
you know, everyone's a VIP, so fuck it.
Yeah.
Like,
Just
I
don't
ain't
cheer
worried
any
about it,
different.
you
Yeah.
know, like, you know.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they slide in your DMs, or they slide in your email, your inbox or something. It's like, hey, you know, let's have a meeting, or I want to interview you for this thing. And they always like misdirect you. They're like, I want to interview you for an article I'm writing about cool spots in Pheonix. And then they'll be like, oh, just kidding. I'm with blah, blah, blah for best new whatever, you know? And it's
What?
like a big deal.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's always pretty cool, you know?
Okay.
One of them I was at my sister's wedding, and they're like, hey, let me get like 15 minutes, do a quick interview with you. And this one hasn't come out yet. And I was like, all right, yeah, like I'll holler at you about whatever you want to talk about. And he's like, yeah, but actually you won this thing, and like, we're going to put you on this big
Oh,
thing.
no way.
That's
That's
really
sick,
cool,
man.
you know? Yeah. So they're like,
Little bait and switch.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. That's
but
cool,
yeah,
man.
it's all organic, you know, let's come in and be us, be true.
That's exactly what you need, man. Instead of like trying to chase it and shit like that. That's
Yeah.
exactly what has to happen.
Yeah. I've never
Yeah.
been like a chaser of it. Like now, like you have, like, I want it, but it's not like why I'm doing it. It's not why I cook, right? Like, but now it's a
Nice
part
little bonus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a bonus, and it's a part of it because, like, shit, we still got bills to pay. We still need to drive business, but I love that we're able to drive business by telling our story on a plate and building our community and building our team here. I can only control what's in these four walls for now, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm always looking for like, yeah, if that's a piece of what helps us get to where we got to get, like I tell my team, like, I got to go out and do this shit so I can help you, and you want to do what I'm doing. Like, I want you to come along too. Right. So, like, so
it's all
I
part of the growth.
Yeah. Chase it in that sense, but like, not because like, oh my God, I want to be famous or cool or whatever the fuck. Like, that's really never been how I do it, you know? Even from football days, it's like, what the fuck?
That's a good attitude.
How do we get it, you know?
Yeah.
So, and sometimes like I gotta go eat so we can all eat, and you know, it's a pack. It's like a pack, you know, like someone's gotta make the meal and we all eat. So
yeah, for sure. I saw you were also out in LA. You worked with Extra Nothings and Poltergeist. Dude, I'm obsessed with that guy. That guy's incredible.
Diego,
how did that come about?
That dude's a fucking wild man on the plate.
Yeah, I know. I've been trying to get him on a podcast forever because I'm fascinated with him. He's like he's doing some of the coolest shit in the country. And how did that come about, man?
He does some dope shit, and I think that's what's fun is like he's like so experimental. I'm a little experimental, but he's very, very experimental. And we bumped into each other in New York, and we just kind of like just clicked right away, kind of vibed right away. And so I was like, bro, I'm gonna be in town. Like, let's go get dinner. And he's like, why don't you throw something on my menu? I was like, I wasn't planning on working, but fuck it, let's do it. You know?
All right, yeah.
So I was like, he was obsessed. He was obsessed with my pork tomahawk plate. So he's like, I kept trying to talk him out of it, and he was like, no, just bring that plate, bring that set. So I was like, all right. So I just brought that set, and I was like, once I get there, let's just fuck around. Let's see what. Cause I didn't know what he had in his walk-in. I was like, let's just see what you got, man. And let's fuck around and
just put you to work
and talk to you. Yeah. So I just took that set out there, and then we just it was like just real like off the cuff. Even the whole thing, like we didn't promote it. Like we put one flyer out or like come through.
Oh, nice.
You know, okay. Just had the homies come through and just ran a dish, fucked around for a little bit, came out crazy, ran the plate, ran a dessert, and then went bowling. It was fun as fuck. Sold them out.
Oh, that sounds sick, man. Yeah.
Cool, but man, he's so experimental, and he brings like so many different flavor profiles to a plate. Like, and it was fun. Like, he's like, all right, I got these fermented cherries. You'll make that fermented cherry sauce. And then like, I'm over here. I'm like, yo, that's just like my Jamaica salsa. I was like, let's bring some like moritas into that shit. And like, we just, you know, like we're like collabing on shit like that, like in the moment, like 2 minutes before service, like blitzing this shit out. Like, you know, like, so it was fun. Like, all right, man, like instead of a tortilla, let's do this squidding thing. I was like, I do squidding tortillas. Like, you do a squidding fucking like flatbread. Like, so we were doing that. Yeah. We were throwing chapulines all over the place and dressing and sauce, caramel, and it was fun. Yeah.
Wow. Dude, that's amazing, man. Yeah, that's the best shit when it's like coming off the cuff and you're just like using other people's stuff to like create new stuff. It's the best, man.
Yeah, it was super fun.
So what else you got planned for the future, man? What can people look for?
I don't know. We're doing a lot of stuff. I mean, right now, like I'm working on this TBX program, TBX collab, which is super fun. Are you like a brand ambassador for Taco Bell, or is that what that is? Yeah, kind of like, so they started this program called the TBX program, and it's like they were doing the same type of model, but they were doing it for like athletes and they're doing it for musicians and stuff like that. And they're like, yo, we need to do this for chefs, like for food. Fuck? So now they're doing it with chefs, which is cool. So I'm part of the inaugural group. There's 3 of us that are doing the program. We get to remix the Crunch Wrap. We're each doing our own rendition of it. Yeah,
all right. So, that's wild.
Yeah, we've been filming for the last few days for that, which was really fun. Super cool crew. I mean, even Taco Bell as a like brand is like, I went to their test kitchen. They was like so genuine. Like they start everything from scratch, like chef driven. Like it was really cool. And then to see how it goes through the stages into mass production was super dope.
That sounds wild.
That's a really fun project I'm working on right now. Opening up a fast casual joint called Worst, which is really cool. I'm just doing like hot dogs, sausages, like
nice
burgers, patty melts, a fried sandwich on rotation, milkshakes, maybe some custom chips. But it's like fast food, but like, you know, like a little chef inspiration, some intention behind it. So that's a fun project. And then I'm looking at hopefully securing a couple leases around town and opening some spots as well.
Man, you got big plans, man.
But yeah. I don't know how I'm gonna get but we're just trying to get it while we can, you know, trying to build this base,
Yeah,
trying to
for
build
sure.
this foundation, so we can all
Yeah,
lift this city up.
for sure, man. I'm sure once I mean, all the news, the good press you've had, I'm sure you'll
Yeah.
have investors coming in no
Yeah.
time, man.
I know. I'm
But
trying to get. I don't want investors.
what's
You
that?
know?
You don't want investors?
I want investors, but you got to be quiet.
Exactly. Yeah, quiet investors. You give me the
Yeah.
money and let me do my shit. Yeah,
Let me do my
yeah,
thing. Nah,
yeah.
honestly, I've been really lucky. Like my partners here at the hotel and my partners on the other project have been like just such a blessing. Honestly, they've been cool. You know, is a huge respect across both lanes. So it's been really cool. Like I've been lucky to have
Yeah.
that. I know a lot of people. I hear a lot of horror stories about investors, and you know,
Yeah, man. It's
I don't
rough.
have to not have to deal with that. So
Yeah, for sure. I think that's the way the industry's going, man. I think most chefs and new restaurant owners are saying, "Fuck investors, man. I'll figure out
yeah,
a way to make the money
we'll figure out
work."
a way.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like
yeah,
even one of my, well, he's my partner now. He started as a server here, and he's like, you know, he's like a numbers guy.
no way.
He was a chef, and then he was like, all right, I'm gonna be a server. He wanted to do consulting. I was like, so we opened a couple projects together, you know, like, and I told my team, I was like,
great.
if you're about it, like, I'm here. We can grow it and we can make it happen. He wanted to be a consultant. He wanted to own a restaurant. I was like, all right, and he put that fucking work in, and we made it happen. You
Yeah.
know, so that's really cool. Like those are the types of like connections and things that we're trying to do. So we can
Oh, that's
we can
awesome.
do it
Yeah.
ourselves, you know, without
Yeah.
maybe having investors. But
That's
I'm not an
the
investor
best way to
as long
do
as
it, man.
as long as it's, you know, it's all good, then it's good. But yeah,
Yeah.
I've heard the horror stories, man. Heard the
Yeah.
horror stories.
Yeah.
So that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll leave it there, man. I really appreciate you coming on, man. It's a great conversation, dude.
Yeah.
Hopefully
Yeah.
I'll make it down to Phoenix someday. I love Phoenix. The last time I went there, it was fantastic, and I haven't been back since. It's
Yeah, shit.
2017.
Come through.
So,
Hit me up,
Yeah,
text
man.
me, DM me, whatever.
yeah.
Come through, come
Sure,
eat.
man.
I would love to see you. You're in Houston, you
Oh,
said?
yeah. I'm in Austin. Yeah, if you ever come
Austin.
through Austin, man, let me know.
I'm gonna be in. Where am I gonna be? I think no. I'm going to Houston. I'm going to Houston in first week of October. I don't know how close that is to Austin, but I know Texas.
that's like
is
3 hours away.
3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Houston's
I'm
got some
over there.
great shit, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I haven't been to Texas before, so it's gonna be cool.
Oh, damn. All right. Yeah, man. You're gonna enjoy it, man. It's
Fuck yeah.
it's a great food scene there.
Fuck yeah.
All right, man. I'll let you go, man. Yeah, again, I appreciate it, dude. I'll see you later, man. Thank you.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to it.